Want the high-stakes stuff? The believe-the-hype stuff? The criminally good, emotional roller coaster, can't believe what you're seeing stuff? You know, the good stuff. AMC Plus has it all. Can't wait for the beginning of the end? Watch all new episodes of The Walking Dead 1 week early. Want to be chilled to the core? Set sail with the North Water, a thrilling Arctic drama starring Jack O'Connell and Colin Farrell. Plus, uncover gripping true crime content ad-free and on demand. Expect the epic with AMC Plus. Sign up today at amcplus.com. AMC Plus, only the good stuff.
And welcome to another episode of Mystery on the Rocks, the show where we drink cocktails and talk about unsolved mysteries. Hello, I'm Masood. With me, as always, is the amazing Suze Kempner.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. That's how I greeted Chris when he entered the Zoom.
It was so funny.
You just went.
He loved it. Chris was like, so good.
You know when somebody's sort of like waiting in a room for you?
Yes.
It was like that on the Zoom call, and bearing in mind Suze would have been in the Zoom call by herself. I'm obviously thought she would have let me in, but when I joined, she was sitting there like this. Good evening.
I was looking out the window at the terrible weather.
Because I think that would have been a decision. You're like, oh, this will be good. And you clicked on, you went. And just the moment where, like, for a few minutes, you're like, what if he's late? How long am I going to have to sit here with my face looking out the window?
Oh, Jesus. No, do you know what? I was like, I've committed to the bit.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to look out the window, then turn and go, good evening.
Good evening.
It's going
Do
to
you
be
reckon
great.
anybody in the age of Zoom has done the equivalent of hiding behind a door for somebody?
Oh, and the boo,
What?
like jumping out and scaring someone.
What? Ah,
So
okay.
sort of like,
Yeah.
you know, you're waiting in a room for somebody for ages,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you jump out at them when they arrive. Has anybody ever done that? Where they're
But
like,
I'm going to wait just under the webcam.
But I reckon the internet's cut out and it's just gone like. And you're like, what's happening?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's sort of like you're really juddery up like that.
Yeah, and it's just the whole effect is ruined. And they're just like, what? I haven't got my audio on. I only just, or they're looking away.
Yeah, they're muted.
Mystery on the rocks, oh yeah. Mystery on the rocks, yeah. Mystery on the rocks, yeah. I did it to my mum once when she was in the car outside. She like got home, but she was on the phone.
Yeah.
And I was like, haha, she sat in her car. I'm going to creep out and jump up at the window and scare her.
Yeah.
So I did it, and she went, oh, like that. And I was like, pfft. Normally she'd laugh at that and make a big thing of how great I am. So I went back inside,
Great,
and
she
it
reached
turned
for the
out...
gun in the glove compartment.
Yeah, turned out she'd been on the phone to her friend whose husband had just gone into hospital.
Oh, shit.
So shouldn't have done that, should I? That was about a year ago.
So, yeah, like that's...
He's all right now.
Okay.
Let's all just calm down.
Of course, the other voice you're hearing is Chris Stokes.
All right.
Hello. How are both of you both good? Good. That's good.
Thumbs up, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
7.5 out of 10, I reckon.
7.5 out of... Why the half? What's the half?
It's weird, isn't it? 7's not a round number when it's out of 10, whereas 7.5 is 75%, 3/4.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd
Yeah,
round it.
that's... No, 75% is good.
Yeah.
I'd give that score as well.
I started the day at a 6.
What do I think of?
It's just got...
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll
Got a little
watch it.
bit
I'll
better.
watch a 6, Chris. I'll watch a 6
I know you'll
from
watch a
IMDb.
6.
I'll do it. I don't
Yeah.
give a shit. I'll put it on, even if like Premonition and openly spits in my face at the ending. I will happily watch it.
This is like in Edinburgh when comedians go, thing is though, 3 stars is good. What's annoying is 3 stars is good.
And it's like, I mean, 3 stars is 3 stars is a solid 6. You put it on a Sunday. You're not going to be telling everyone about it.
Hey, hang on a second.
Holy
Who's this?
shit.
Hey, wait a second.
Is that Sunil Patel?
Oh, hey guys.
Oh my
Hey.
god.
Goodness me. How are you?
Dear, oh dear. Just wanted a quiet time on my own. Fancy seeing
Yes,
Well-
at my pub.
my 3 nemesis. Is that too much?
They call us the 3
Yeah,
stars of cocktailery.
But 3's good
What's the
though.
plural
Sis.
of
You were
Three's
right.
actually
You were right.
good.
It's nemesis. Nemesis.
It's Nemesis, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Nemesis.
nemesis with an E
Yeah.
instead of an I. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, that's it. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Ramesses.
Yeah.
Ramesses Revenge at Chessington.
Instead of Ramesses.
One Ramesses, three
Two
Ramesses.
Ramesses.
Oh, geese, goose. No.
Yes,
Fish.
Nemesis.
Fish. Lots of fish.
What about wildebeests?
Wildebeest.
Wildebeest.
The plural is
Wildebeest.
wildebeest.
Oh, like Weetabix.
Yeah, that's
Which,
good.
weirdly, actually, is one Weetabix, some Weetabisses.
A single Weetabix.
Well done, Sunil, for being the silliest opening conversation of the entire podcast.
Can I just tell you one thing before
Of
we move on?
course.
'Cause
No, tell us several.
I watched
Don't just leave it. at one.
You can't tell us one thing. You could tell us a few things.
Sunil's like, I've done my one thing now. You carry on. I'm sitting here in silence.
I got my one anecdote that I've been booked for. No, I was reading 2 articles in The Guardian today about people that have the same meal repeatedly.
Yeah.
And there's a delightful article about this Welsh sheep farmer. He's in his late 70s. And he says he has the same meal every day. And it's...
Sunil, this better be good.
Yes, every day. He says, right, it's 2 pieces of fish. It's 2 pieces of fish, 1 onion, a boiled egg, baked beans, and biscuits. I don't know what it is about that bit. I just couldn't. I was crying with
I'm laughing because
reading
that's my cocktail. And I call it a sheep farmer's dinner.
1 egg. An onion.
1 egg, an onion, and biscuits.
Biscuits.
Oh, it's just the fact he put biscuits at the end, but
that's
without
so
saying
funny.
and. He didn't say and biscuits. He said
Biscuits.
biscuits. Yeah. Baked beans, biscuits. Full stop.
Did he elaborate what biscuits they were?
Yeah.
I think he did later. I
Chocolate
think they were like
hobnobs.
Jammy Dodgers.
What were they?
I think they were Jammy Dodgers.
Oh,
but,
fucking
you know,
hell.
they could
What,
be-
with the onion and the fish? Jesus.
He crushed them
they
up.
just-
Oh, and sprinkled them on top. Or like
Yeah.
mopped
It was
up
a lovely article.
Does
mopped
anybody
up the
else,
ketchup.
when somebody says 1 onion like that, an onion,
It's
I
a whole.
pictured it raw.
Yeah,
as
raw
well. I
whole
don't
onion.
like-
I'm
on the
seeing a
plate.
raw
Yeah.
onion.
Yeah.
Big fucker.
The fish were cooked. The
Yeah.
beans were heated.
Yeah.
But they were
Dealer's
tepid.
choice how. Dealer's choice how. Doesn't matter how
Yeah.
they were heated. Beans
Yeah.
are heated. Fish was cooked.
He buys 1 carton of eggs
Mm-hmm.
a week. Boils. Oh no, actually he's 7. He buys 7 eggs a week. Boils all of them on a Sunday, and then he's
And
got
has them
all
throughout the week.
week.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
just crack-
Meal
cracks
prep,
one.
innit?
They're like a bodybuilder.
Meal prep.
Was the sheep farmer? Was he stacked?
Thing is, he's not eating any lamb. Which is
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, he doesn't. He's like,
Shipping it all
don't. He
off
said,
somewhere.
don't get high on your own supply.
Yeah. You gotta make that sweet, sweet money.
sensible.
That sweet lamb dosh. It's coming in.
He doesn't want to get hooked, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No, mate. No, dangerous game.
So, I don't want any of that. He goes out with the other farmers, and they're all sat there eating lamb chops, and he's like, "No, I can't
It's
be."
like
doing
he's
Actually,
like,
he trades because there's a fisherman who eats his lamb.
it's a barter
Yeah,
system.
and that's how the
there's a
economy
chicken farmer
works.
that gives him the
Yeah.
eggs.
that.
An
There we
onion,
go.
an onion seller who's just got a row
Farmer.
of them around his neck.
Be an
He's
onion.
like, and he's French.
And it's the guy that makes the
xenophobe.
biscuits that thinks he's weird. They all have this lovely
Yeah.
little thing going on,
Yeah.
but the guy that makes the biscuits is like, I've got this weird fucking sheep farmer that keeps coming
He
in.
keeps coming in
Yeah.
and buying
He-
biscuits.
He keeps trying to trade for the
he
biscuits. And I'm like, no,
'cause he
you
was
pay me.
quite-
Pay me money for the biscuits.
He was quite specific with his amounts. So he's like 2 pieces of fish, an onion, a boiled egg. When it came to the biscuits, I imagine he ate a whole pack.
He eats, he eats every night. He eats a
Did
whole
you say fig rolls?
gets-
free for all.
Free for all.
Oh, free for all. I picture that as sort of like a packet of fig rolls.
Fig rolls.
Bloody
Big
hell.
rolls.
They're gross, aren't they?
It was a 90s morning break.
Oh,
at school
am
for
having
me.
a fig
Little
roll.
bag.
I am forever
Yeah.
just like completely baffled by the amount of breakfast trying to be convenient and bar formed that's happening all the time, and it sounds like fig rolls
Velveeta.
are one of them.
There's
Like,
something
our-
sci-fi about it.
To make you
though,
feel
isn't
important, though.
Oh,
isn't it?
that's it. Yeah. So, yeah, you see, like, oh no, I'm very busy. I must have food in a bar form. I'm on the train.
Nutri-Grain.
Yeah.
Do you remember Nutri-Grain? It was basically like flour and sugar and jam. And
Yeah.
they were like,
Yeah.
this is a healthy breakfast. And I used to chow down on those before school. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
it?
Cereal.
Did they used to burn the
Nonsense.
roof of your mouth?
Yeah, they did a little bit. That they had that.
Bicarb of
They were
soda,
very
yeah.
tart. Yeah.
Oh, right. Gonna hit
Would you like a drink?
Oh yeah, do you want a drink, Sunil?
What
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
What would you like?
My favourite drink is that's not my favourite actually. The drink I'm most proud of, but I haven't actually tried, is the Wankers.
You've never tried it? Oh wow!
I've never tried the Wankers.
Oh, you'll love
No.
it. It's very nice. There you go.
That is just,
It sounded nice. I just don't have the confidence to pull it off. I don't think.
I don't know, man.
Hey, pull it off.
Here it is, right here for you. Pull it off.
What's in it?
It's a gin tonic. Well, it's like a pink gin with a bit of grapefruit and lime.
Well, Masood will fix one of those right up for you.
There we go.
Meanwhile, what's Chris having?
What do you got, Chris?
This is called a mahogany Manhattan.
Oh, that looks very
In a
nice.
beautiful colour.
Yeah.
Beautiful glass.
Beautiful
So
glass.
you know how
Very
you would
classy.
normally, Masood, how would you normally make a Manhattan?
It's rye whiskey and sweet vermouth and Angostura bitters.
Yeah. So this
2-1-2 is the ratio.
this is bourbon, dry vermouth,
Oh,
cherry liqueur, as in maraschino liqueur,
yeah.
and chocolate bitters.
Whoa, those all sound incredible together.
It's really nice, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
And you said it's 2-1, didn't you?
So
With the-
2-1-2. So 2 ounces of rye whiskey, 1 ounce of sweet vermouth, and then 2 dashes of Angostura bitters.
So this is
That's
2
how I remember it in my
ounces. This is 2 ounces of maraschino liqueur, 2 ounces of dry vermouth, and 4 ounces of bourbon,
Ooh,
and then
very nice.
4 dashes of chocolate bitters.
I love these chocolate bitters, man. I
real
need to
nice.
get some of those.
It's
gonna get that
because
all.
you know how what do you, because you basically say bitters are the salt and pepper,
Yeah.
but it is amazing these chocolate bitters, just how chocolatey they make a drink taste with just a couple of dashes.
Yeah, I've not had much chocolate bitters. I think I've had it in one drink a few years ago and I remember being very impressed by it. But that sounds amazing.
It's like I still prefer a classic Manhattan, which is
Okay.
a lovely old drink, but this is a nice twist.
Yeah. What have you got there, Suze?
Oh, well, I can make it in real time. Hang on.
What?
Hang on.
2 pieces of fish.
2 pieces of fish.
Biscuits.
Here we fucking go.
Oh, what do you
Oh,
have
that's just
there?
red wine.
Just red wine. Oh, it could be port.
There we are.
That's a
I
big
call
old glass
that-
of port.
I've been known to drink very big glasses of port myself because
That is a glass of Cabernet Syrah.
Are you going to call it
smells
Cab
awful,
Syrah
actually.
Syrah?
oh, I like that.
I was going to call it Cunt Special.
It's a catchy name.
It's up for
It's a
grabs, that
catchy name.
It's
That wine is that I should have drunk that a while ago.
Oh no.
Oh no, it's one of them.
Oh no.
Still drink it, but
Is it
Well,
like a
the
Nutrigrain from the
Special is something
90s?
it's got that kind of thing where you're like, maybe
in
it's
your
just
mouth
bad
a little bit,
wine. No, it's gone.
That's definitely gone.
No, that's turned, mate. It's not got a cork in it.
You're gonna finish it. Though?
Yeah.
You're gonna finish
yeah.
it. Yeah, nice
I
one.
might not finish the whole bottle,
No.
but I'll finish this glass.
We'll check
I'm a
up.
professional.
We'll check up on you in 2 glasses and see if you have finished that bottle.
What are you
Tastes like
drinking, Masood?
vinegar.
So this is something called a horse's neck. Very simple. A horse's neck, not a whore's neck. A horse's neck.
Yeah, it's still funny.
That's not why we laughed,
It's the way
Masood.
you grabbed for it
That's
as
what I
well.
thought you said.
So it's just I've got some dregs of brandy, so I was like, brandy and some bitters and some ginger beer. It's quite nice. It's
Yeah?
quite nice. Yeah, it's one of those easy ones that is good, and I like it.
Hey, Masood,
What a
can
review!
you save bad red wine by adding Frangelico to it?
I believe yes.
Shall I see?
Yeah, let's see what happens.
All right.
I believe everything can be saved with Frangelico, though. I think
So far, the pandemic's been fucking safe for it in this house. Right, hang on.
True.
Here we go.
Also, Susan's sort of like adds it to everything, and it turns out all right. So.
It's always fine. Hang on. Right, let's see. Let's genuinely see if this has improved the red wine. Fuck off.
it's awful.
It hasn't.
Is it awful?
That's a no.
No.
isn't it?
Do you know what? we all have that moment where we lose our innocence, and that was mine. Took 36 years.
Has it ruined Frangelico?
No, it's ruined the podcast.
You're not going to drink the
Goodbye,
rest of the
Sunil.
wine, right? So why don't you
No.
pour that horrible wine Frangelico thing back into the bottle and then
Because
pour
I'll
the...
spill it all over my fucking desk.
Ah, okay.
So how about this week's drink is Frangelico straight from the bottle?
Yeah, that's every week's drink, isn't it? I'm sure.
Usually it turns, but
lovely.
not from the off.
Not from the off.
Anyway.
No, that's true.
Right. Go. What are we doing
What
with
we-
this Masood?
She said-
Let's go.
Get on with it.
I don't think I've ever seen you just give up this in
I'm
this
so
part of the show
angry.
about
I'm
the-
so angry. I'll drink any old shit.
But you took a terrible wine and then made it like undrinkable. How is that?
Yeah. Also, Susie's behaving like this wasn't her fault.
Yeah.
Like it's been done to
Thanks
her.
a lot. Oh, do you know what, guys? Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you also called it the cunt special. And you did, I mean, it was all heading towards it.
It's like, whoever that is. Oh, it's me.
Man. What do you have for us, Chris?
It's the ghost of Copper Hole.
The Ghost of Copper Hull, Hull?
No, Hole, Hole.
Oh, the Ghost of Copper
Where's
Hull.
that?
It isn't. So it was an abandoned copper mine in Church Stretton in Shropshire.
Right.
Yeah. So in 1881, a man named William Thomas, Roberts, was it?
Thomas or Roberts? Billy
There's
Thomas,
a few
Billy
people,
Roberts?
and I knew I should have not relied on memory. So, I was like, do you know what I'll do?
cast.
I'll remember the top lines. and then we'll get into the notes. But now all I can think about is a sheep farmer eating biscuits with
In my head, he's also sat at a table with one candle going. Like he's
Yeah. And
or he's also the sort of guy that
Frugal, his name
saves his tea bags and
I think
reuses them two or three times.
on like a
Yeah.
clothesline.
He does.
Yeah.
With that thing.
His name is also he's also called Thomas Roberts as well. if that
I think
helps.
he eats the meal in silence, the same meal every day,
Yeah.
alone, and then when he's finished it, he puts the fork and the knife side by side like that on the
Yeah.
plate, and then he goes, yeah, and just says that to himself.
Is this fucking sheep farmer
But I think-
again?
yeah.
I just came back to
Yeah,
it.
but he's probably the happiest person I've ever
Yeah, probably.
seen. He's having a good time.
Because he's done away with all the bullshit of having to think of different
Yeah,
food to eat.
he's not making mistakes with wine.
He sits-
Oh,
he sits-
we don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents.
He sits there for his dinner and he goes,
Yeah.
he eats his meal in silence, enjoys it, he puts it down, he's like, and now for a nightcap with my favourite podcast, Mystery on the Rocks. Oh,
Oh, yeah, we're slacking him off. It's him that wrote the review. That's why he's mad.
He doesn't even have he's not wired into the internet. He just uses a bit of 4G every week to listen to it.
I like this guy.
He's like,
He's a good
Yeah.
guy.
because he's got just enough 4G.
So he has to
that he
drive.
doesn't
He has to drive out though. It's not in his house. It's not around his house. He's got to drive out to it.
I can get some up on the hill, and he likes to just sit back.
Oh,
He attaches a metal rod to his head.
there we go.
He sits there. He's got his favourite lamb that he strokes as he listens.
Oh yeah, it never grows old. Because he lives, and it turns out it's like a Jacob's Ladder thing. He was dead all along. And he's like, that's why the lamb never aged.
Why did the Guardian want to talk to me? Am I dead?
And he looks at the clock on the wall and he's like, hang on a minute, it is always 6:30. And that's why it's the same meal. As well. This is good.
This is a fucking movie right here.
And he's like, why do I want biscuits with beans?
And he realises he died when he was 6 and it was just a stupid dinner he'd made himself when his mum was sick upstairs.
Yeah.
And if his mum hadn't been
Nice.
ill, she would have been there to cook his dinner and he wouldn't have burnt down the house.
And I'm telling you guys, I'm smelling a lot of Oscar buzz. A lot of Oscar buzz around this one. This is gonna be
I'm
good.
smelling something, mate.
That
fucking
Smelling
wine.
buzz.
Chris, we're at a mine, an old copper mine. You said
We're almost there.
We're almost
at
there.
the copper mine. Yeah, in 1881, in Church Stretton, which is in Shropshire, William Roberts was on his way home. He was a cider mill owner in Church Stretton. It's dark as
Who
late.
wasn't?
He had a few to drink,
Anyway.
and he was walking his way back home, and he looks behind him. He sees a woman a little way behind him following him. He stops and lets her catch up, but she continues walking. But she doesn't seem to catch up with him. She's always the same distance away. And he couldn't hear any footsteps either that she was making, so she was walking perfectly silently. She was quite ghostly, and the reason for that is because she was a ghost. So he looked back. She was gliding towards him. She stops just a little bit away from him. She removes the cotton bonnet from her head, and she holds it out to him. And then he panics and runs away. And but before doing so, he sees her retreat like through a hedge, like kind of like Homer.
When he just kind of
Right.
And then he runs away scared. Behind that hedge, apparently, was this filled-in, disused copper mine, and he not only was like, "Oh, she's gone down the mine," he recognised the ghost as a woman called Sarah Duckett who had vanished from Church Stretton 7 years previously. Right. And he decided, that's the ghost telling me that the body is at the bottom of the copper mine.
Okay. It's not like them two fellas. What was that Hollywood case where those two guys dressed up as ghosts? And they were like...
Oh, yeah, the lady at the bottom of the Hollywood sign.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I think the suit's thinking of when they tried to spook the black guy into
the driver. Yeah, that's right.
And they were, because they'd heard black guys were scared of ghosts.
Ghosts. Like, so here we go. So he sees this ghost and then runs away, freaks out, but it's like, oh shit, she's there. Does he go down to check it out?
Does he go down the mine? Well, the mine's filled in, but what he does do, he's a local businessman. He tells everybody what he's seen, and bearing in mind, Sarah Duckett vanished 7 years previously, and he's like, it's Sarah Duckett. I'm convinced.
Okay.
7 years before, at the Church Stretton railway station, Sarah Duckett arrives back. She'd been travelling. She was from the area, and she'd come back, sort of like after years away. She's got 2 suitcases or carry boxes, and she puts them on the ground. She asks about train times and then walks off. And a couple of the locals around at the time, and this is verifiable by independent witnesses, because this isn't a ghost. This is a woman getting off a train.
Yeah.
And they watched her as she went up the road that William Roberts saw her on 7 years later, and that was the last time anyone saw her alive, because then she vanished, leaving the luggage at the train station. So no one ever saw her again.
Wait, so she left the luggage and then she just popped up the road?
She got off the train back at Church Stretton, returning home after years away.
Yeah.
And then that was 1874. They never saw her again. Everyone was like, that was the last anyone ever saw of Sarah Duckett. Fucking hell. And then 7 years later, William Roberts is walking home drunk, and then he sees her ghost.
So hold up. So wait a minute. Like no one's like, has anyone seen Sarah Duckett? Everyone's just like, she's probably dead. It's the 1800s, mate. No, everyone's fucking dying.
People die.
So I suppose in the same way that when people vanish now, there's probably some flurry of activity trying to find her, and then when they can't, they assume the worst.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Why'd she leave her bags there and wander off?
Don't know. No one knows. No one knows why the bags were left there.
And if you go to the train station, the ghosts of the bags are still there. No, they're not. There's no ghosts of bags. That's fucking stupid.
What was in the bags?
Clothes in that.
Don't know, actually. I think
bags,
it was just her clothing and belongings. She'd apparently been in Australia. That's the theory. And then had come back.
That would have been ages as well, like on a boat. That would have been like fucking 2 months. Travelling back on a boat.
Where she was like, I'm not carrying these a single foot.
Yeah, it's like, fucking hell. The whole 2 months I've been sat in a shitty cabin, sat on top of these.
7 years later, William Roberts is like, I saw a ghost, and she went through the hedge and then down into the mound of dirt where the mine used to be. He awoke the next morning and had convinced himself that this meant that the ghost is saying the body is at the bottom of the mine. So he was like, so she didn't just go missing, she was murdered in 1874. The body was thrown down there. Let's excavate. So he told everybody in Church Stretton, in the village, taverns, shops, and the streets sort of like were going, oh my God, I saw the ghost of Sarah Duckett, because it was a different time. They were like, you must have seen the ghost. So they started digging down the mine, and then the story hit the papers across the whole country. People arrived at Church Stretton to look down the hole as they were digging to see whether they could find the body. visitors came over for miles. And guess what? William Roberts became like a showman about it. Like, roll up, look down the hole.
He Barnumed it.
Oh, what, selling T-shirts and shit. Hey, get your very own whole T-shirt. Yeah.
Did he charge people to look down the disused mine? You bet he
fucking
did.
did. Yeah.
Okay.
A shilling to look down the hole.
And then he'd sort of like theatrically tell the story about how she vanished and then he saw her ghost. And by the way, this is all like there are contemporary newspaper articles of people flocking to Church Stretton to see this. William Roberts is like quoted all the time in the papers of the time. So this genuinely happened. The only thing is like, did he see the ghost? Spoiler alert: no, he didn't. I don't think he did. Ghosts don't exist. But he kept charging people to look down the hole. They eventually dug all the way down the hole. Was there a body there? No.
No. Fuck. Oh. Wasn't even a body.
Okay.
Did you think a ghost told him? And there would be
no, I think.
Well, I was just looking forward to hearing more from this ghost.
Yeah. No, I think I mean, surely there was a body down there. It might not have been hers, but like,
no,
I don't think he could have just been drunk and been like, and like made some shit up in his head, and then like, surprise, surprise, there's actually a body down there. But yeah, I guess that's.
I thought he killed her, and then 7 years later, racked with guilt, he said saw the ghost.
Gotcha.
Actually, might be down there. Maybe it's down there.
Oh, right.
More people saw the ghost while they were digging.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
I saw it too.
Oh, you saw the ghost? You're in the hole? That's 10 shillings right there. I know you're working for me, but come on.
Got to pay the ghost tax.
As they kept digging, people were sort of losing interest. When there was no body there, they lost interest completely. But just as that happened, a letter was delivered to just a local trader in the town, and it claimed to reveal the true location of the body of Sarah Duckett, and it was signed by one who knows.
Ooh.
Hello, this is John Grills from Creepy. Want to see something scary? Shudder is the ultimate streaming service for fans of horror, thrillers, and the supernatural. Brought to you by AMC Networks. Shudder is a premium streaming service that promises its members a multi-sensory dive into fantastical worlds. All uncut and commercial-free. Discover films and series that cover the entire horror spectrum, including highly anticipated new releases like The Boy Behind the Door, and one of my new favorite movies, Psycho Gorman. Available ad-free, on demand, and through the platforms you're already on. Shudder. So good, it's scary. Sign up at shudder.com. That's SHUDDER.
This is the contemporary newspaper article. No signs of human remains were discovered in the mine. So the mystery of Sarah's disappearance remains a mystery as ever. She made her home at the Toll Bar, which is like, what are they called? Like it was a village in Shropshire, but it was like a thoroughfare. So I suppose like the village would become where people would have to pay to use the road.
Oh right. Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that she lived
a shithole.
sort of
I know what you mean. Yeah.
She lived in the toll house.
Oh, I see.
Oh, right,
Okay,
okay,
right. Like on the M6.
Wow, that'd be an horrible place to live.
I live on the M6 on the toll booths.
Do you know what? I'm from Great Worley, which is now now most people know Great Worley as being one of the toll booths on the M6 toll.
Yeah. Famous.
You might have heard of it as one of the toll booths on the M6 toll.
So, now that I've drunk some of my Coke, I'm going to add some tequila.
Ooh.
You could have added the Coke to the wine.
Red wine and
That's
Coke.
what they do in
still
China.
do that.
Yeah.
They do that in China.
All
Red
right.
wine and Coke. Yeah.
Okay, so it's Frangelico, gone off red wine, and a bit of Coke.
Oh no, not
What do
not
we
to
think?
that.
What do you mean not to that? It's
No,
the only
to
red
a-
wine I've
To
got.
a fresh. Oh, never mind. Do it. Go on then. Have a.
Fresh glass of red wine.
You're at the bottom of a copper mine. Just keep digging.
Yeah, go for it. But don't
Going
forget to
through
pay.
the hedge, guys. Yeah. Oh, it stinks.
So there's a letter that's sent
Yes.
to somebody in Church Stretton, and it
person
says,
who knows.
"You will fail to find the body of Sarah Duckett in the copper hole. Look in the cellar of the toll bar, which is the toll house. Examine the part nearest the road in the left-hand corner. Signed, one who knows. So they did that. Was there a body there? No, there wasn't a body there.
Ah, bollocks. Oh, I kind of thought there would be. I was suckered in by that one. And then another letter came in.
No, well, actually, another letter did come in, Masood.
Oh, shit.
And, yeah, guess who this letter was from? This letter was from Sarah Duckett.
Fuck off.
Oh, I was really...
She hasn't died?
In all my wildest dreams, I was like, the best thing ever would be if she shows up at some point in this story, and it happened.
Yeah. Oh my
she
God.
Was,
Unless she didn't write it.
Yeah, she was apparently alive and well, living with her husband in a town in Worcestershire.
That's so funny.
Not fair.
No,
the
it's
note
not.
said she had no knowledge that her ghost was wandering around and was of the opinion that she should have been consulted before liberties were taken with her spirit.
They didn't know where the fuck you were, Sarah, you bonnet waver.
That's a
People are allowed to disappear.
Hold this thought,
Yeah.
Suze, because then obviously people looked into this, and it turns out Sarah Duckett was in fact dead, and that letter was a forgery.
Oh, no.
How do they know she was dead?
Okay, so a reverend called Holland Sandford.
fucking
was
great name.
The reverend in who knew that even in a Shropshire mystery in the 1800s we'd still get a good name.
Great names.
Holland Sandford was the reverend in the town. Like, he knew everybody. He knew Sarah Duckett. He knew her family very well, and he saw it as his duty to clear up this matter. So he looked into it.
Yeah.
He spoke to her relatives, who told him the last they'd heard of her whereabouts was 7 years before, and that she was in a workhouse in Worcester. So apparently when she got off the train and left her stuff, she'd gone to Worcestershire, straight to Worcestershire.
Oh,
apparently.
she just left her
Right.
shit behind.
Workhouse,
Okay,
yeah. He wrote to officials to find out whether this was true. And then so while he was waiting for a reply, he decided he was going to write down everything he knew or could remember about her. Now, she was born near Church Stretton in 1830. So by the time she went missing, she was 43, 44.
Practically dead, in 1800.
So she had she had two sisters and a mum and a dad. But her dad had died when she was 8 years old. He'd fallen from a chimney.
Oh.
Oh, that's such a 19th century death.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Steady the ladder. Well, that's that.
Well, it is 1845 or whatever it is.
Because he died when she was little, that left her mum with 3 daughters. So they sold part of the property to ease the situation. And then in 1873, which was the year before Sarah went missing, the mother died. So the Reverend advised the daughters to sell the rest of the property, and they did. And so Sarah took her share, which was £70. I don't know what that is in today's money. But
18, what was it? 18 what?
1873.
1873, okay.
So she took £70 and decided, and that's when she said, I'm going to travel the world. So she put £30 of it into a bank in Church Stretton, and she asked Reverend Sanford himself to look after £25 of it.
Okay.
And then with the rest of it, which 30 plus 25, so with £15, she went to Liverpool and then went to Australia.
Fucking
Bloody hell.
So it's about $1,000.
Oh.
It's nearly $2,000. Actually, it would be about 1,700 roughly.
So it'd be enough to get you to Australia.
Yeah, and then I suppose when she's there, she could earn money and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so just under a year later is in 1874, which is when the train pulls in. She's on the train, she gets off it, and then she leaves them at the train station and vanishes. So 4 people saw her in the town that night, and then 2 or 3 days later, she was apparently seen a few miles away at Longville, which is
The workhouse?
also in Shropshire, but a few miles away. And she would have actually gone past the old copper mine to get there. And then by June, apparently she was destitute in Worcestershire and working in the workhouse. Okay. And then in 1876, so 2 years after she vanished, but 5 years before they saw the ghost, she was moved to the infirmary suffering from rheumatism, and she died.
Oh.
In the workhouse. There is a document.
What is rheumatism? All old people have it with arthritis. Yeah. Is it just arthritis?
So apparently there is a death certificate. There is a death certificate of a 45-year-old woman, so the age is correct, called Sarah, who died in the workhouse in Worcestershire in 1876, which is still 5 years before the ghost sighting. So then you've got this, why might the ghost sighting have happened? So you had a theory, Sunil, about William Roberts being like, I killed her, guilt-ridden, want to get the body back. There are other things, which is what if there's evidence of another crime or something he needed back from the bottom of the copper mine and he needed an excuse to dig it because it had got filled in the meantime. And so he played on this Victorian superstition about ghosts and said, I saw a ghost go down there. I recognised her as this woman that had gone missing. Maybe her body's down there. So they dig up the mine, and then he can get what he needed out of it.
That's pretty...
What was that?
Who knows? That could be anything. That's unrelated to the disappearance of Sarah Duckett. Because that's why mysteries happen. It's all coincidences and things that are like not related that people put all together.
And people look for patterns.
Yeah.
The other thing is, what if it was Holland Sanford, the Reverend, who
killed
had stolen her money because she gave him money to look after.
And she put
£10
£30 quid in a bank.
Yeah. Where'd that go?
Yeah, she's like, well, that 10 quid, that was going to see me through
At least.
the 1880s. Pound a year, mate.
10 quid.
£10. Imagine.
But what could that money buy you back then? More than a ticket, right? Because different things cost different things then, didn't they?
Yeah. So
like a computer, probably a lot more than it would now.
You could probably also barter your way onto a boat to Australia and say look, I'll work on the boat.
I'll show you a knocker.
Just the one.
Yeah.
She'd use what?
Hang on.
It'll take me a while though.
Yeah, she's got to undo the whole. Hang on.
Oh, it's hardly worth the effort, is it,
Hang
mate?
on.
And there's some perv on the harbour going, it is though.
Yeah, I'll wait. I'll die if I have to.
I'll wait.
You can't do that anymore. That's the sad thing about these days. If I go to the toll booth at the M6, I can't just go, I could show you a knocker.
I'll show you a knocker and get
come on,
through.
one knocker.
I bet
the
you
machine
could.
is like,
Suze,
no, thank you.
You're only saying that because you haven't tried it.
That's true. I'm giving it a go. It's all automated now, isn't it, though? And those machines don't care about tits.
On the signs where it says, where you've got the different lanes, and it's like cash, card only, express lane, tit.
Just a big pair of boobs.
Oh, yeah.
Drawing of some boobs. And I'm like, aha! And I wear a lot of layers, so I'm like, I'm singing the Strictly Come Dancing theme tune.
Women are just flying through the toll booth, and there are men going, "Can't just get me knob out, can I? That's not."
And people say that women are hard done by in society, just like loads of men in a big queue.
I just don't understand how a flash of a knocker will help upkeep the road, though.
He gets a bit of something. He's the guy in the booth.
We're actually paying for it,
Yeah. The poor fellas. Like, maybe women would get paid the same if they put the same amount in, and it's just like loads of women going, woo! Spring break.
That's a very good point, Suze.
At the end of the day, I'm not like the other girls. I think feminism's bullshit. I'm not like other women. That's why I do a podcast. Like, they asked me to do a podcast with a couple of women. And I went, no, thanks. I'll only do it with, like, loads of men. Because girls, like, I get on with men. Like, girls are just so bitchy, I only get on with men. They solve the crimes and I make silly drinks. Because I can't do anything. Can't do anything.
So the priest could have done it. The priest could have nicked her money and then bumped her off.
Yeah.
Back on track.
Sorry.
What if the priest stole the money and then she was like, I want the money back, now I'm back. And he's like, spent it.
Like Masood's mum.
I spent it. It's gone. No more.
The priest is played by your mum.
You want your money? Collect it. It's gone. I don't have it.
You think this house is cheap?
I thought it was God's house. God demands money.
Yeah, he gets his own house for free anyway, doesn't he?
Yeah.
The house of God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he gets a vicarage or something, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's true. They get all kinds of perks, don't they?
They get loads of money because they don't have families either, do they?
No, they don't. They have secret families.
Yeah.
The one at Great Worley, he took his family there. That was the whole.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The story.
Well.
Oh yeah. Do you remember that show that was on in the 90s called The Lakes? And there was a Randy Vicar.
With John Sim was in that, wasn't he?
Was he? Young. Was he the priest?
No, I don't think so.
Because there was a priest that was always getting off with birds, and it was like the worst thing he could possibly
Spoken
do.
like a true feminist.
Get off with the birds, was he?
You know what women are like. They love a priest.
It's because he
Nosh,
can't.
bosh, bosh.
It's because he's forbidden, isn't it? That's what it is. Forbidden
It
fruit.
ain't allowed. Well, I never watched it. I just remember the trailers, and it was always just some scene of a priest going, "We mustn't," and then kissing a woman.
What are
and
we
then
doing?
we talk about it. What are we doing?
It was John Sim, and it's available for £1.89 per episode on Amazon.
Ooh, that's
fucking
cheap.
laughing.
Which is it cheap?
That's
I mean,
cheap at
a
half
lot.
the price. That is a lot, isn't it? I'm not paying.
How many series did they do?
Three
Three
series.
series.
3
How many
series of
episodes
the
a series?
lakes.
It looks like there were maybe. I'll just bring up the full.
Snell's really coming to his own. It's like, oh, can I fact check something? Great, brilliant.
2
11.
series, only
11.
14 episodes.
Oh, really?
Oh,
The Lakes, a British drama series
so 15
by
quid.
Jimmy McGovern.
So about 15, 16
Oh, yeah.
quid, you've got the lot. Still though.
Yeah, John Sim. Oh no, John Sim was the hotel porter. So who was the priest?
Father Matthew. He was also Craster in Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Craster.
We assume that Sunil's googled this, but I think it's just all knowledge.
It's all up there.
He's a massive
It's all up
fan.
there. He loves the lakes. He wants
hit my,
he wants us to wrap it up because he's going to go watch an episode after the record.
It's like straight away Robert Pugh. He was, of course, Father Matthews.
But he seems like the priest is like seems like a pretty. He's low down the cast list. So why were
Yeah.
all the trailers just this priest looking at women going?
Wasn't there also a sheep farmer that had?
He used to have the same dinner.
And he killed her, did he?
He did it. It was
Chucked her
him
down
and
a
the
pit.
priest were getting off with each other. It was a good show. That's all we need to know. It was a good show.
So we don't know anything else about this woman, about Ms.
Well,
Duckett.
no, because there is also some doubt that the Sarah that died in the workhouse
Is even Ms.
is
Duckett.
in fact the same Sarah.
Ah,
Okay.
I suppose like this.
Oh, God.
I suppose like the same names so close together geographically would be the same.
But Sarah Duckett, it sounds like 18th century name. I bet there weren't any. I bet the only female names were like Rosemary, Sarah, and Christabel.
Glennis.
There weren't any others. Glennis.
Yeah.
Glennis, yeah.
There's a couple of Glennises floating about.
I'm pretty sure at that time, Sue, a woman on the throne was called Victoria.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but no,
that
but
was
no one
another
else.
name.
No one else can call their kids
Oh
that.
right, yeah, of course.
'Cause they're
That's
the-
Law.
Oh, yeah.
Queen Victoria. Do you know what I've learned about her?
What?
She absolutely loved to have sex.
oh,
She loved it. She apparently, according to all the stuff about her that they've made with actors, she loved it. She was like, ooh. Apparently, according
What a
to
fact.
according to the script,
I'd like
according to all these scripts.
Sue's to present a historical documentary.
Yeah. But like
Who's that woman? What's the name of that woman? She's really lovely and posh. She's got blonde hair.
Lucy Wolseley.
That's it, yeah. And she's always like, oh, she makes it so interesting because she goes, this painting had this thing going on with it, and you're always like, oh, so you are so into this. It's great to know. I bet I want her to do a documentary and just be like, Queen Victoria also loved to have sex down here in this room.
she loved it. Apparently, some of her favourite positions were
Apparently.
Christ.
She always says apparently.
I'm pretty sure it was Lucy Wolseley that did a thing about Queen Elizabeth got tired of shitting in a bedpan and challenged people to invent a toilet that she could flush.
Really?
What, the second? Queen Elizabeth II? What, our queen?
Queen.
The current
got
queen.
tired of
Our queen. What, her Madge, she was like, I'm sick of shitting in a bucket. I'm the fucking queen. So, and then a bloke climbed through her window while she was having a shit and she went, enough's enough.
No,
That's
it.
why there was such a
And it
fuss
was
in the
made,
80s.
yeah.
Yeah, it was in the 80s. She was like, that's embarrassing. I don't know. I'm not a history person. Leave it to Worsley.
You should say that in your history documentary. I don't know. I'm not.
I'm not
person.
listen, I'm just,
Not a
I've
history person.
I've heard a few things.
You do this a lot to the camera. You go, come here.
And I get the camera, and there's one bit where I get it to hit me on the head. I go, oh. It's just a fun thing we do in the show sometimes. I go, so hi, we're here at the Great Whirly M6 toll, where Queen Victoria, she never had to pay with money.
The flash
Queen
knocker
Victoria.
straight through.
Big. She was like, quick wits, big tits. And I go, and then I walk off screen, and it just pans across the motorway.
In my head, like, she's also in a horse-drawn cart as well, so it's just there's a lot of
no cars.
Yeah.
She's like,
she also owns all the roads.
Can you say that as well, Suze? Yeah, no cars.
there weren't any. I come. It like the camera pans away from me, and then I go, and there were no cars.
That's history.
That's history.
This is history.
That's what the show's called. The show is called That's History, or This Is Fucking History.
It's very sweary. That's fucking history.
That's fucking history.
Anyway, I'm joined by historian Sunil Patel. Who...
Right.
Have you heard anything about Queen Victoria, Sunil?
Yeah, she loved it. All over the place as well.
Yeah, that's what, and I'm like, oh my god, that's what I've heard.
Not just in the bed.
And then we both look at camera and go, see? We're like pointing at each other, see?
This has to get made.
It's called That's History.
Brackets, there were no cars back then.
It's true, it's got this great tagline. Right. It's a good sketch. That it lasts as many episodes as The Lakes.
14-hour-long episodes.
14-hour-long episodes. We don't just have to do Queen Victoria having it off. We could all just do. We should also
Catherine
do.
the Great.
It's about all women in history that apparently loved it.
Yeah. I'll tell you what Catherine the Great liked.
Some say it's just a rumour. Well, apparently it's not just a rumour.
No,
If you look up there's a hook with a horse.
It's just it opens with me patting a horse. Like, horses, we love to pat them, but some people love to do a lot more.
Catherine the Great. Oh yeah. Come here.
Oh,
Let me tell you something.
Come here.
She loved it.
I'm always joined by Sunil. Who he's heard a thing or two. Okay, right, so we're talking about Catherine the Great. What have you heard about Catherine the Great?
Oh, do you know what? There's one thing she loved to ride.
Yeah. What is it?
That's a horse. Yeah, not just on top, under as well.
Underneath and all. Well, we've learned
Tell
a
me,
lot.
Sunil, were the cars back then? No.
Of course, that's why she was fucking a horse.
Yeah.
Well, you can catch our spin-off
this
show
made me
That's
cry.
History on on Amazon Prime at $1.49 per episode.
We've commissioned it without asking Stu.
So this is one of those ones where we don't know. We don't know because
I mean, like, okay, so yeah, I think Sarah Duckett almost certainly died from last being seen in 1874 to the ghost showing up in 1881. Pretty sure she was dead. I think
Okay.
William Roberts had nothing to do with it. He just knew that she was missing, presumed dead, and decided to
dig
use
up this mine.
Yeah, no, maybe he thought, wouldn't it be great if I dug up the mine and said there was a ghost down there to make some dollar?
Yeah.
He was a cider mill owner and he was selling his cider to everybody that came.
Oh
So
yeah.
there is that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet he was the right local character as well.
Yeah.
I bet people used to say like, "Oh, he can charm the birds from the trees."
He sounds like the Gary Vaynerchuk of his time, and by that I mean fucking unbearable.
Who's Gary Vaynerchuk?
Oh, he's this YouTube guy who's like, you just gotta like push yourself. You gotta just. It's one of those guys.
Yeah,
Right.
motivational lad. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Oh, if you're listening, Gary, by the way, hello.
Thanks.
We're sorry that we didn't do Natalie Wood seriously.
We're very sorry. Yeah, it's
Drink a little less.
yeah, it's so it sounds like he's just like an opportunistic businessman who's like, hey, I can make some money selling my
Yeah, it's one of those
Cidre.
things. Like, the disappearance had nothing to do with the ghost showing up. And the reason for that is because the ghost didn't show up. That's bollocks.
Yeah, right.
The other thing, of course, is that the subsequent sightings could be one of two things. people getting carried away and wanting a piece of it, or
Yeah.
people playing pranks on other people, saying, "I'm going to pretend to be the ghost of Sarah Duckett and frighten that guy."
Yeah.
You know.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And that's why the only black guy in town left, because apparently they're afraid of ghosts. So.
What we learned from the
that's
Hollywood
history.
series.
That's history.
That's history. There were no cars back then, just ghosts.
And we now cut to Masood, our race correspondent. Yeah, apparently black people afraid of ghosts. Bye-bye.
I go, come here. And Masood just comes into frame like, what?
What? Are black people afraid of ghosts? Yep.
I go, let's test it out.
Yeah, Sue says, "Are black people afraid of ghosts?" And you go, "There's a ghost." And
There's a
like,
ghost. Oh, go.
And your legs run, but you don't move. You're like, puff of dust. So I go, whoa, guess they are scared.
And then it cuts to a hallway with several doors in which we run and are chased by the ghost. And then at one point, we're chasing the ghost. And then we're like, what? And then we look at each other and run towards camera. And then...
And Sunil's eating the biggest sandwich you've ever seen.
Oh my goodness. Oh, well, what a mystery.
So did we cover everything?
I think we got everything.
Yeah. That's all it was. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I should say, the ghost of Copper Hole was the winner of last month's poll on Patreon.
Thank
there
you,
we go.
Patreons.
Where our patrons can vote for the topic of one episode per month, and they were given 3 choices, and they chose the ghost of Copper Hole.
There you
Wow.
go. Well, there you go.
So thank you, patrons.
Yeah.
You should get on the Patreon. It's patreon.com/Mystery on the Rocks. It directly keeps the podcast going, and it's thanks to our patrons. People like you, Ben Redpath.
Thanks, Ben Redpath.
Thanks, Ben
Keep the
Redpath.
podcast going.
Hey.
You keep me up to my neck in bad red wine.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Wow.
It's part of the meal she has every day.
I have a bad
meal
red
every
wine.
Meal every day. Bad red wine.
I have-
Diet Coke.
Swig of Frangelico.
Swig of Angelico.
Diet Coke.
Biscuits.
Sonic the Hedgehog curry.
Yeah, I have a Sonic curry.
Oh, fucking hell, I saw
I haven't
that.
been sent that
Please.
Sonic curry for over 2 weeks. I haven't been sent it for 2 weeks. I got sent it about once a week for about 2.5 years. Susie, you seen this?
Serious?
Yep. So I haven't been sent it for, I think 3 weeks, actually.
So somebody has been
Sonic
sending it to
curry.
you on the regs for
Different people.
Oh,
The same
Different people.
person. Mrs.
hey.
Seuss in this. Seuss in this.
Yeah, still. Oh my God, no! People will be like, "Sue, saw this and thought of you." I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's since
I've never heard of
2017.
it. I've just looked it up.
Oh, it's pretty gross, but I would eat it.
Oh, I thought people were actually
imbibe
sending
his
it to your
essence.
to like a PO box, and you were eating it.
No. After you've eaten that, you'll be like, "Oh, gotta go fast." So Neil, have you got anything you'd like to plug? Sonic curry.
That's history.
That's history,
How are
which
you
coming out soon
serious?
on Turtle
Yeah.
Canyon. I'm doing 2 nights on the 11th and 12th of June. I'm at Soho Theatre with a very poorly titled show that was a mistake.
Oh yes.
I accidentally emailed as a question, and they just printed it as the title
Oh no!
Wow,
That's amazing.
of the show. So the show is called White Knight V2 Surprise Motherfucker. Actually, that's a bit much, isn't it?
Amazing.
So
And they offered him Wanker's
great.
Delight instead.
How about Wanker's
a bit
Delight? We
much.
could do that. How about we do Wanker's Delight?
That's
I've got a great name for a show.
June, yeah.
11th and 12th of June, yeah.
And 2021, if you're listening in the future.
2021.
You might have missed it. Don't you also do a podcast?
Oh, fuck, yeah.
But that's history.
Listen to That's History. Google That's It. No, I do. It's called Why Is Harriet Crying with Harriet Kemsley.
Yeah.
And that's available twice a month. Please do listen. Last guest was Helen Bauer. And now that I've done this podcast, we've got 3 new people to hit up as guests.
Wow.
We'd love it.
I
Harriet
thought people
might.
hated being on podcasts.
Oh no, I love it.
No.
Great.
Anyway, we would like to come on your podcast.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Although
That'd be
Harriet
really
might
fun.
have a restraining order out against me because the
we go.
most drunk I ever have been on our podcast was back. It was back when we were still in the studio.
Shit.
That
We-
was then.
Masood used to make 2 drinks.
That
and
wasn't the
then-
most drunk you've ever been, is it?
on the podcast it is.
Oh, right.
No, I've been more drunk than that.
Yeah, I was
going to
say.
About when I was sick on my leg in that cinema.
Oh,
They brought in the second drink, and I was already a bit drunk from the first one, and Jack, the producer, said, "This is a sipper, okay?" as he handed it to me. And so I was like, ha ha ha, downed it. And then I was hammered, and I was annoyed because everyone else still had a drink. So I reached behind me into the booze cupboard and just started fucking
just
knocking back stuff from the...
Cointreau and Tabasco, that was.
Yeah.
That was Cointreau and Tabasco, yeah. It was bad, but I drank it. And then we went outside the studio, and Harriet was out there with...
Helen Bauer.
It was Helen Bauer, wasn't
Yes.
it? Yeah. They were outside, and I told her how much I loved her. I was like, I just think you're so brilliant.
And then you sat in the road.
And then I sat in the road. I sat on a double yellow line.
The thing is, you can't embarrass yourself in front of Harriet because she's got so many incidences where she embarrasses herself. That's all she can put in her head.
Right.
I have to say, she was very nice about it. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We've ended this episode
Thank you,
Cheers,
lots
mate.
of trips down memory lane.
And I'll hopefully see you guys soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
please.
listeners, we'll see you all soon on a live stream, which you can only see by buying a ticket or joining our Patreon at top tier. If you don't do either of those things, then forget it. But do it, and we don't know when the live stream will be.
Real soft landing for the end of the podcast.
I think I've made my feelings pretty clear.
That was red wine, Coke, tequila.
Yeah, that's what
I
that
hardly
was.
drank any.
Oh.
So look how much red wine
God.
there is. I'm going to have to leave that on my desk till it's jam and then eat it. On my Vita.
Oh. Put it on a Nutri-Grain. There you go.
Yeah, it's the filling. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Well,
Bye,
We haven't said
everybody.
bye. Bye.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
mystery on the rocks. Oh yeah. Mystery on the rocks. Yeah. Mystery on the rocks. Yeah.
Want the high-stakes stuff? The believe the hype stuff? The criminally good, emotional roller coaster, can't believe what you're seeing stuff? You know, the good stuff. AMC Plus has it all. Can't wait for the beginning of the end? Watch all new episodes of The Walking Dead 1 week early. Want to be chilled to the core? Set sail with The North Water, a thrilling Arctic drama starring Jack O'Connell and Colin Farrell. Plus, uncover gripping true crime content ad-free and on demand. Expect the epic with AMC Plus. Sign up today at amcplus.com. AMC Plus, only the good stuff.